Following is a presentation of 13ABC Action News. Now, your table is ready. Join 13ABC's Jeff Smith with the decision makers of Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is the Roundtable.
Each and every week here on the Roundtable program, we like to highlight some of those really good stories in Northwest Ohio. Coming up in our second segment, we're going to talk about a program down at Bowling Green State University, a play that's going on down there, a puppet show dealing with a horror classic. You think puppet show, you think kids, well, this one, not so fast. We'll get into the discussion about Frankenstein down at Bowling Green State University. But first, back to one of those really good stories about what's going on here in the community. Great to have Harry Cummins back from the International Boxing Club in Toledo joining us here on the Roundtable. Harry, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We brought along some guests with you to talk about what opportunities are out there, what you are providing for some of the young people of Toledo. Dr. Paige Armstrong from UT's Honors College, also with Daniel Steyer joining us from the Honors College, a tutor for your program. There's a new video that has hit YouTube that we caught wind of this week that we took a look at, and it really highlights not only, you've talked so many times about the International Boxing Club teaching more than just boxing. That is your mantra. That is what you are trying to do. You are trying to instill life lessons into these kids, aren't you?
That's exactly it. We're trying to develop habits for these kids to become champions in life. We want these kids to be successful.
Doctor, talk about, you said this was one of those things. You saw the opportunity to highlight, the University of Toledo saw the opportunity to highlight what's going on the east side.
Well, I had met Harry before through a different organization, and we'd been wanting to get a really stable, long-term tutoring program going with our students, because we have students from all across the university, so we can tutor in any subject. And I thought Coach would be a perfect match. And that was, we were just talking about it, I think 4 years ago, and he's been bringing kids to our college every week.
Yeah.
I have a group of students that meet, they all just show up and we tutor for an hour or so, and it's been a really successful program. I mean, from my point of view, I've watched his kids, you know, go through the years and really improve, and then it's been a great experience for our guys.
Harry, it's always been more than just about athletics for what you're trying to do for these kids. For people who aren't familiar with the story of how IBC got started, and bring them up to speed, obviously just a year ago, I think it was, we were talking about financial problems and the closing of the center and then the reopening of the center. So bring people up to speed.
Right. When I first started the program, I wanted to get kids off the streets, get them out of the gangs, the drug scenes, all the negative activities. So then we started developing a really good boxing team. So we signed up for a national tournament, and I had to take the kids out of school. So I had a meeting with the kids, and I asked, "Are you passing?" And I naturally, "Oh yeah, we're passing." I said, "Well, I'm going to go up to the school and I'm going to talk to the teachers." So I went up, visited the teachers, and I found out 75% of my kids was failing. And I came back to the gym that night and sat the kids down and said, "We're not going to the tournament." I said, "You don't understand how important education is." And I said, "You're not going to get anywhere without education." So the light bulb went off in my head. I started a learning center, started helping the kids with the homework, you know, help assisting them and trying to improve their grades. Some kids quit. Some kids stuck with it, and the kids that stuck with it, I was so proud because, you know, I ended up going to their high school graduation. Some of them moved on to college.
And it was a real grassroots effort to keep the Learning Center going, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
As far as raising money, that kind of thing. How tough was it?
It was really tough, and I credit the Stranahan Foundation. They was the first organization to step in and help us. We asked for help, and we needed computers. And I went to Stranahan Foundation, and I said, "We just don't want you to buy us computers. We want to teach the kids how to build these computers." So we started out with 4 kids. They learned how to build these computers, and they did their flow charts, and they started teaching other kids.
Yeah.
So that was like our foot in the door. And Stranahan Foundation, I give them so much credit. They believed in us. They stepped up to the plate and helped our program.
From punching the bag to punching the keys.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Doctor, talk about what you have seen as far as the growth of this program.
Well, the thing that really struck me, and I still get a kick out of this, is the first time the kids came they come onto campus, and I have a great big classroom, and we all meet in there.
Intimidating?
And they were petrified.
Yeah.
And you could tell they were scared just to walk up the stairs. And they're we're on a college campus, and within a couple months, it's just really interesting to watch how comfortable they are, and then the relationships they build with our students, where they look forward to meeting that person again and seeing them every week. And that's been really a positive thing for me, because I like to think that for every kid that goes through that experience, they realize, I could do this. I could be here someday. It's not out of my reach or out of my realm of possibilities.
Talking about the International Boxing Club here in Toledo, it's joined efforts with the University of Toledo Honors Program, Honors College. Daniel Steyer, originally from the Findlay area, you're getting ready to graduate here pretty soon in chemistry, going on to bigger and better things in grad school. You got involved with this program 3-4 years ago. Talk about just your, I guess, experience with these kids. And I guess let's go back in your mind to the first one you ever met. Who was he? Who was she? What was their life like? And how did their life develop and change over the next couple of years?
Let's see, the first group of kids was about 3 years ago. I believe the first one I met was Trayvon. He was one of the greater success stories of the program, I believe. He was a fantastic leader. Everyone followed his lead.
Good student?
Good student. He sounded like he was a great student. It was a pleasure working with him. He didn't have a great background,
Family life?
Family life was poor, school life was poor, and he really turned it around when he got to the program.
Yeah.
And so it was great to see what this program could do for the kids, and then I realized, as a part of this program, I can also help these kids achieve this level that is so desirable.
Was it more along the lines of homework? Are you sitting down with them trying to teach some of the stuff? I mean, are you showing them molecules? Are you showing them, the table of elements, that kind of thing?
So yeah, as a chemistry student, I primarily am given the chemistry assignments, but I'll work with anything, help them out with the homework, maybe just shoot the breeze, talk about how their lives are going. Sometimes they just need someone to talk to. But yeah, the primary focus is just helping them do well in their schoolwork. As Coach said, education leads to a successful life. Yeah. And you just go from there.
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about, now I want to point people in the direction, I've got it pulled up for people to see at home, ibctoledo.org, the place you can go to find out more information as far as International Boxing Club of Toledo. From the beginnings, and he talks about success stories like Trayvon, what do you notice in these kids and when the light goes on?
Well, I notice the hardest part is when they come in is just opening the books. That's the hardest part. Once we get the kids opening the books and they start doing the schoolwork, next thing you know, the grades are picking up. And once they bring that grade card in, those grades is turned around, that's when their attitudes has changed.
We talked about the intimidation of being on campus, but once these kids hear that they're going to be affiliated with, or I don't even know if you address it to them, like, we're going to link you guys up with some honor students. I mean, that would probably have them take a back seat and think to themselves, I don't know if I'm an honor student, Coach. I don't know if I'm able to do something like this. How do you get past that barrier?
Well, like Dr. Armstrong was saying earlier, the kids are intimidated at first. But after there for actually a couple weeks, on Mondays when we go to the university, the kids are all lined up with their book bags and they can't wait to jump in the van. They're saying, we're going to the university, and they're just so proud.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, as we go into a summer of uncertainty when it comes to funding for programs that are available for area youth. You've been watching the news, you've been reading the papers. What do you notice? What do you recognize? Do you think this is going to be a real problem going into the summer if, one, we can't find the funding for the pools to open, or just what are you guys doing to kind of ramp it up as far as providing outlets?
Yeah, what we're going to do is we keep the kids active. We do educational programs. We have photography. We have a vocational training center where we teach carpentry, electrical, and plumbing. We have a reading club. We also have a garden. We also have a program, this is going to be our 4th summer that we'll go into, it's called Starting Up Your Own Business. Every week we bring in a guest speaker from different businesses, either attorneys, real estate, business owners, and then at the end of the summer, they're going to do a presentation. We bring in a group of business owners to be judges, and they'll have their presentations, they'll have their startup costs of their business, their expense sheets and that. And
almost like a little Shark Tank.
Exactly. And the kids, they love doing it. And then what we do is reward them at the end of the summer, we'll take them to a nice restaurant to eat, and it's so enjoyable. The kids are dressed up, they're wearing ties, and you know, they're looking around and said, you can have this.
Yeah. What I guess onus is on you with the parents, with following their progress on trying to see they did this on a test in high school. Do these kids come back, they tell you, I did this on a test? Do they have progress reports? Are they responsible for updating you on, you know, I'm going to get into this college, this is the next step that's going for me? Doctor?
I don't have any interaction with the parents.
Yeah.
I'm scared enough of Harry just by myself. But I
guess, do you feel like that's something you guys, any responsibility there?
Well, we were just talking about a boy that was in the program last year and how difficult he was. I mean, he'd come in and it was a stone wall. It was, you know, I don't have any homework. I don't need to do anything.
What got him there initially?
Well,
Boxing.
Yeah?
Boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this kid this year is the leader. I mean, he's completely turned around. You would know it's the same guy. And he's a sweetheart of a kid, but just, you know, it took him that year to start to find himself. So, you know, I see the weekly results, and it seems like it's a short period of time, but just week to week, you see the little differences where people will start to get a little more confident in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And also, I think it really helps to know that the same group of guys are going to be there every week. You know, I think
Committed.
they're committed. They care about them. It's like you're not just going to do your homework. You're also going, like Dan said, to kind of shoot the breeze a little bit, have someone to talk to, and there's not that much difference. So again, I think it gives them this idea that to succeed in that way is really an attainable goal.
I would ask you, and I'm going to also ask them, how important, walking away from this, at the end of this experience, how important was it that you were there?
I mean, it was incredibly important. The immediate effect is obviously we help these kids do well on their homework, do well in school, but both sides benefit in the long term. They gain skills that help them throughout their lives. Hopefully they become harder workers, they become dedicated to their communities. And then there's also something to be said about doing volunteer work. As a student, we're preached to work hard in our schoolwork and try to be successful in our careers, but as far as I would consider personal development, that's put on us.
More of a human side of things.
The human side, so it's been great working with the program to develop me, you know?
Yeah, great. I mean, I could end it right there, but I will give you the last word, Coach, talking about just how important and why it's so important doing what he does.
Oh, it's so important to see these kids turn their lives around. You know, it makes me so proud when I attend their high school graduation and someone's going to college. We've had 4 of our students actually graduate from the University of Toledo, and it just makes you so proud.
This video we've been showing during the course of this conversation, you can find it on YouTube under International Boxing Club. Once again, put together as you see it right there, another one of the success stories being highlighted there in the video. Harry, also Dr. Armstrong, and Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this great program. And obviously, I think you're going to be kind of busy this summer with a lot of activities.
I hope so.
You bet. Stay right there. We've got more to come here on the Roundtable right after this.